to me. When I do corporate, I promise you, if I look like this, I probably don't look this good. Sometimes I got on shorts and a t-shirt. In corporate, what I'm saying? Some of us don't want to wear a suit, but you're not on that level though. Or you want to wear, don't you dare quit. You're going to embarrass me. You got a wife and kids. Does YouTube have insurance?
Making a mistake is okay. Your parents probably told you, you can be anything you want, but you can't. That's horseshit.
I remember that in politics, I had a very clear vision that I will be the leader of California. This is as far as I could go because I was not born in America, so I could not run for president. So being the governor of the fifth largest state, I should say the largest state, the fifth largest economy in the world, was for me really the ultimate title, the ultimate accomplishment in politics. So even though people came up to me and says, why don't you go and run for something smaller? You're never gonna make it. I ran for governor, and then 2 months later, I became governor of the state of California. Again, because I had a very clear vision what I'm gonna do with California. So that's rule number one, have a vision. Rule number two is don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the naysayers. Everything I ever did, the thing that I heard out of people's mouth was, that's impossible. That can't be done. Or no. That is exactly what I heard. Of course, I proved to the people that it can't be done. So whenever someone said to me, it can't be done, I heard it can be done. When they said no, I heard yes. And when they said it's impossible, I heard it is possible. I'm a strong believer of what Nelson Mandela said, that everything is always impossible until someone does it. Well, I'm going to be the one that said to myself, I'm going to do it and I'm going to show it to them. Maybe it has never been done before. That's perfectly fine with me. But I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it. Let's go. Let's go. Rise and shine. Good morning, family. How are we feeling on another blessed and grateful day coming into Wednesday, Hump Day, July 6th? Super excited for the month of July. July is going to be nothing but full of growth, blessings, and more abundance coming in to this month. So, as you see for the topic today, we are diving into the high performance habits. If you haven't seen this book, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a sneak peek of what is going on here. We've done a couple of trainings inside of here, but today I believe it's really going to shift the way that you go about your day, the way you go about your month, and honestly, the next 6 months of 2022. So get ready, right? We're going to be talking about how to go ahead and generate energy 3 different ways. One is seeking clarity. The next 3 is going to be releasing tension, bringing joy, and optimizing health. So that's the topic for today. But as always, let's go ahead and get into the gratitude for today. Grateful for God, grateful to be alive, grateful to be healthy, grateful for all the abundance flowing to each and every one of us, grateful to be alive, grateful for all the obstacles that is coming to us, because everything is a lesson. And let's go ahead and get into day 12 of the magic. This was a great one today. So if you've been following along, hopefully you guys have been going ahead and getting inside of your journals before we get on this call, right? The main objective is to be able to do this early in the morning, because they say how you start your mornings is normally how you start your day. So if you start your morning on fire, your day is going to follow, right? So this was today's topic, day number 13, and the title is Make All Your Wishes Come True, okay? This is a great one. Here's your quote, and we'll get into the paragraph. Imagination is the true magic carpet. All right, so check this out. If you have been following the magical practices day by day, you've now built an amazing foundation by practicing gratitude for everything you've received and continue to receive in your life. But today's an exciting day, because you're going to begin to use gratitude's magical power for your dreams and for your desires. The law of attraction says that like attracts like, which means you must form in your mind likeness or an image of what it is that you want. then to attract your desire to you, you have to feel as though it's already yours, so that how you feel is also how you're going to feel as if it's already there. The easiest way to do that is to be grateful for what you want before you've received it. Okay. It says it in the Holy Scripture, whoever has gratitude right now will be given more in the future, and he or she will have in abundance. Right. I love it. Great start. So this was the homework for today. You ready? I want you to go ahead and sit down with a pen and journal and write down. This was deep. This one really got me thinking today. Sit down and write a list. It said write a list of your top 10 desires, right? Thank you 3 times for each one as if you've already received it. For example, thank you for, right? So I'll go ahead and give you guys one of the sentences that it was talking about. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to impact hundreds of thousands of people all around the world. Right? Being able to put it out to the universe and assume it's already done before it's even happened yet. So even 10 desires, what is top 10 of your desires that you could go ahead and really embody and feel it, that would get you fired up, that would get you excited? This is why they talk about gratitude is so important, because it's deeper than just gratitude. It's teaching you how to visualize. It's teaching you, what do you really want? What are you grateful for? And what are you ready to actually become magnetic with in the future? All right. And then to take it a step further, it talks about create a magic board, right? Cut out the pictures and attach them to your magic board and say, thank you for each one. So imagine if you had 10 of your desires. If one of them maybe was to take your parents and travel them, to a different country to go experience that type of culture, get a picture of that country and put it on your vision board. So I love it. This was a great exercise to go ahead and start for the day. But now let's get into it. The top performance habits on how to go ahead and generate energy. I feel like this is such a big one, because so many over the past 6 months, you might feel burnt out. You might feel like life is just attacking you from all different angles. And you're wondering, why do some wake up so excited? Why is he so fired up every morning that he gets up? Well, there's actually a method to the madness. There's a system to go ahead and giving yourself energy, believe it or not. So if you don't know it, today we're going to go ahead and dive into. So let's go ahead and get started. The top performance habits, how to go ahead and generate energy. I've got about 3 to 4 different ways that you guys are going to be able to look at it. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first way, actually, before we get into it, I want to actually go ahead and show you guys this. Okay. This is, before we dive in, this is called a clarity chart. So if you've never seen this, this is kind of similar to what we go over on the 5 to 6 pillars of life, but this is a little bit different. So you guys can go ahead and take a screenshot of this. Let me get up here so you guys can get a good picture. Screenshot this on your phone. All right, go ahead and lock that in, and I'm going to go over it with you guys really fast so you can actually understand what it is that it's showing right here. Because this is a game changer if you can really understand this. You ready? Check this out. All right, the clarity chart. So there's basically 6 boxes right here, okay? So the top left box is going to be yourself, and it talks about 3 words that describe my best self. I'm getting you thinking right here. This is really going to get you outside of the box today. You've got to be able to start thinking and visualizing the person that you really wish to become. So that's 3 things, okay? Second one, social. 3 words that could define how you are out in your social life. What kind of value are you giving on a daily basis? Jim Rohn talks about it all the time. We get paid for the value that we bring to the market. Are you a singer? Are you an actor, right? Are you showing people another way to think, another way to live, another way to go ahead and go about multiplying their money? What type of value are you giving on a daily basis, right? There's multiple different ways: spiritually, educationally, lifestyle, okay? So multiple ways that we can go ahead and give value. Third thing it talks about is skills. What are the 5 skills that I'm looking to develop most in my life right now, okay? Subconsciously, without even reading this book, I started to understand this a couple years ago, right? I was thinking about, what skills do I need to master? Number 1, I wanted to master how to multiply my money. This is one of the biggest wealth hacks that I first picked up at the beginning from Robert Kiyosaki, right? Cash flow quadrant, rich dad, poor dad. If you don't make money in your sleep, you'll work to the day that we die. So learning how to trade, this was something I needed to go ahead and apply into my life. I wanted to go ahead and learn social media, how to brand myself, right? If you guys haven't paid attention yet, individual brands like you and I can be bigger than the biggest brands that you see. Gucci, Louis, Nike, they're looking for individuals like us, because believe it or not, people are not going on TV. They're not watching the commercials. they're purchasing things from influencers, right? Because we're the ones that are really giving the value, you're actually giving back to people. The fourth box is going to be service, right? So this goes with social and service. So 3 ways that you're actually going to actually add service into this week. Now it's being tactical. What is your to-do list? How are you going to do something different moving forward than whatever we did? Forget about 6 months. Don't even worry about that. Let's go back to just last week. What's 3 things that you can add service into your life coming in for the rest of this week? Is Wednesday. So from Wednesday to Friday, how are you going to be a person of service? I love that. Last 2 boxes I talked about was focusing on the feeling. The main feelings I want to cultivate in my life, relationships, and work this week include. The way I would generate these feelings is to. So think about it. I'm going to go over that again. The main feelings I want to cultivate in my life, relationships, and work this week include ... The way I would generate these feelings is to. So if you want to go ahead and cultivate better feelings in your life, relationships, and your work, let's go ahead and go through each one. So if you want to go ahead and start really feeling vibrant about your life, what are you going to do different this week than you were doing last? Okay, your relationships. How much time are you going to actually give energy to some of the relationships in your life? Maybe some of you have been so busy on work, you haven't spent any time giving back to your family. Some of you actually had a great 4th of July, and I know that was probably one of the times you've been waiting for, because you actually had time to sit down, be present, and actually enjoy some family time, right? That's the whole reason why we're doing what we're doing, is to be able to give back to our families. And then how about work, right? What do you want your finances to look like? What do you want your impact to look like in the next 6 months? And when you really start to ask that question, it's going to help you actually move the needle moving forward every day, because now you've started to get an idea of how much time that we're spent on distractions rather than doing things that are productive. So the 6th box, define what's meaningful. And this is pretty much getting to it. Something I can do or create that would bring me more meaning in my life. Starting your podcast, putting out that video today, reaching out to the individuals that you were scared to go ahead and talk to because you didn't know you had no idea what they would say. You never know what that relationship could do. You never know how many people that video could reach. You never know, just sprinkling your gratitude dust on somebody, how much that could actually touch and affect their life. All these little things play a role. So let's go ahead and get into it today. You ready? 3 things. How to release tension, how to release tension and set intention, bring the joy, optimize your health. This is big, okay? And when you really think about the first one, releasing tension and setting intention, you're going to understand how many of us go through this in our life. So let's go ahead and think about it right now. I believe, and this talks about in the book because it makes sense, one of the biggest reasons why people lose energy is because we fail to master how to transition in your life. So for the training, I want you to go ahead and put a star on this one, because if you can apply what I'm about to teach you right here, this is going to change the game for you. I promise you, okay? Because we all experience this. Check it out. What do you mean by transition? It says, well, every morning when you wake up and start your day, you experience a transition from rest to activation. The start of your day is a transition. The time that you drop your kids off and start your commute, that's a transition. From family time to drive time, that's a transition. When you finish your commute from work and you go back home to go and being a mommy or a daddy, that's a transition. All of these different things, right? When you really start to think about it, makes so much sense, because we're always moving. We're always going in different aspects, and there's a loss of energy. We end up getting drained through all these different activities because there's a leak in the transition. Okay, so now I've got some questions for you. I always want to get tactical so you can think about, okay, I'm going through all of these feelings, right, when I'm transitioning, but how can we go ahead and fix it? Here we go. Here it is. Here's a couple questions to think about. Do you ever carry over any negative energy from one activity to the next? How many times have you had something that happened in your morning and then you go ahead and get out and go live and you go ahead and take your trade and you're feeling negative already and you wonder why you go ahead and get more upset when something negative happens? When you have the Murphy's Law, when it just seems like one thing after the next, it's because you're carrying negative energy from one instance to the next. How many? Drop a 7 down below. How many of you have ever took something from work and you brought it home to your kids, to your family? We've all probably been there before. These are all different ways that most of us end up taking negative energy into different aspects of our life. How many of you have experienced something negative at work and you go and post it on social media, right? Most of us have been a victim, or at least we've seen it from somebody or two This is why most have a leak, because they're carrying over that negative energy from one transition to the next. Okay. So here's the second question. Second question is going to be this. Do you ever feel depleted, but still plow into your next activity without a break, even though you know you should take a breather? Right? How many of you, let's even going back to trading, have lost a trade? We go and take another trade. We see another trade come out. We take another trade. That's called revenge trading, right? When you actually have a plan and you have risk management, whenever I hit a certain number, I'm done for the day. Even on my wins or my losses, when I hit a certain percentage, I'm out and I'm done for the day. How many of us have got upset and you carried that on into whatever you're doing next and you didn't even take a breather? This is why meditation is so important, because it gets you to be able to slow down in the things that you're doing. Same thing. Think about if you had a rough day at work and before you go back home, literally as you're sitting in the car, before you walk in the door, before you even address your family if they're there, if you were to sit down just for, take a minute, take 60 seconds, 2 minutes for yourself, calm down and breathe and get a little meditation session in. Take that little time to understand your transition is powerful, because if you carry that negative energy into whatever activity that you go do next, it's going to have an effect on your results. I promise you. If you go try and make a phone call after something miserable just happened, and you don't take your little breather, the other side is going to be able to feel that tension resonates. Okay. So the last question is going to be, are you losing a sense of presence and appreciation for life and others the further you go in your day? Right? A lot of us have a ticking meter, right? At the beginning of your day, you're okay, something happens, you brush it off, you're cool. Then on the way to work, something else happens, you're like, oh, all right, it's one thing after the next. And then something happens when you get there, and now you're fired up, like it literally just hit your last string, and now you flip out. Now the whole lid comes off. How many of us have ever been there? Absolutely, right? It's called stacking of negative things. So the way to fix that is right here. Are you losing a sense of presence and appreciation for life and others throughout the course of your day? Think about something little. When you guys are waiting in line, what if you weren't stuck in thinking about waiting, but you're actually just being present in the moment? For those couple minutes, you're all stressed out, you're getting all negative. What if you were to just sit there for literally just 5 minutes, you're sitting there to look at the trees, to be grateful for you're actually breathing, that you're actually here. Little things like this is how you start controlling your energy and start to be able to release tension and increase the tension. And that's exactly what we're going over next. You ready? So the next time that you feel like you have tension, when you're going from a transition from one activity to the next, this is how you set the intention by saying, this is bringing me joy, right? This is a gift. Even in the shower, it talks about in the book, there's 3 bullet points that it said, when you get in the shower first thing in the morning, what can I be excited about today? Okay. So we've got to be able to release tension and set the intention. So your intention with everything you're doing when you transition to your next activity, take a breather and ask yourself, what is the best way that I can move forward into this next activity with the best energy possible? Something so simple is going to change everything for you. So the second thing we're talking about is joy. So when you're in the shower, even 3 questions to think about. 1, what can I be excited about today? 2, what or who might trip me up, cause stress, and how can I respond in a positive way for my highest self? If you know the obstacles that's going to come ahead in your day, it's easy to be able to go ahead and handle them, because now you're not going to get surprised when something hits you, because you already expected it. So for me going into my day, I'm excited, but I'm also expecting whatever is coming to me, because I understand that life is not perfect. We're always going to have the ups and downs. So don't think that every day is going to be perfect. We all have our good days and we all have our better days. It's important to be able to be aware on both. The third thing, this is great. Who can I surprise today with a thank you and a gift of a moment of appreciation? Something so simple. We talked about sprinkling the magic dust, right? Opening a door, giving a handshake to somebody, giving a compliment. Little times doing that. You could do that 5 times throughout your day, and you just sprinkle dust 5 times. You just implemented gratitude 5 times in throughout your day. Love, appreciation. Watch how much of a difference that makes in your joy and how you go out and you do other activities. You're going to want to post on social media. You're going to want to go make a new relationship. You're going to want to go ahead and build your body. You're going to want to go ahead and eat something better, because you understand that the little things make the big difference. Okay. So mental triggers for joy. This is huge. All right. Write this down. 6 triggers, and this is going to change the game for you. I promise. Okay. Because we all go through these things. So here's what it was talking about. The first trigger is called a notification trigger. So we talked about before months ago, if you were to put an alarm for every hour on your phone, you could name it whatever you want, Rampage of gratitude, right? Appreciation. This was what it had in the book. Bring the joy. Set an alarm every hour on your phone saying bring the joy. And watch how when you're just in your activity, you might be in the car, you might be at work, you might be at the gym, and you're just going to get that notification. It's going to hit bring the joy, and you're going to look at it and say, wow. So if I'm thinking negative right now, let me go ahead and get a new trigger to bring that to a positive state. So number one is going to be bring the joy. You can put an alarm on your phone to trigger yourself, and I'm telling you, it's going to make a difference. Number two, the second trigger, this is called the door frame trigger. Every time you walk through a doorway, say to yourself, I will find the good in this room. I'm entering this space as a happy man or woman ready to serve. How different would you move if you walked in the room looking to serve, looking to be the light, looking to be the one to be the first to compliment and give gratitude for somebody else? I'm telling you right now, the universe is going to come back and it's going to pay you 10 times if you can really catch these triggers. Okay. Number three, the third trigger is going to be the waiting trigger. Remember, I literally gave it to you earlier. The next time that you're waiting in line, you're waiting for something, you're on a phone call, you're on hold waiting, stop being so stressed out and be angry, or you're in traffic, be grateful for the moment. Pick up the little things that's right there that most people wouldn't even notice. The trees, the sunset, the atmosphere, the air, the temperature, all the little things that most people would go in one ear and out the other. Pay attention to your surroundings, okay? Number four, the fourth trigger is going to be the touch trigger. Whenever you're introduced to somebody, okay, firm handshake if it's a male, female, either way, and be the person to go ahead and give a compliment. When you touch somebody, give them a compliment. And watch how little that can literally change their day. Something so small. And I'm telling you, it opens up the relationship, and now you never know where that relationship could go. 5, the gift trigger, okay? Whenever something happens around you, near your life, I want you to go ahead and say, this was so big. What a gift. What a gift this is in my life. It could be anything, something so small. You're sitting home and you just saw the UPS come drop off something you've been waiting for at your door. What a gift, okay? You get a phone call from one of your family members. What a gift. You go ahead and go to the gym today. What a gift. You get on a Go Live session. What a gift. You go ahead and get on a 3-way. What a gift. All of these different ways you want to figure out how can I go ahead and create positivity in my life. It's being able to be grateful for the little things, okay? 6, this is big. The last one. The 6th trigger is going to be the stress trigger, okay? Most of us, we're feeling hurried. We're feeling panicked, overwhelmed, right? Stressed out with life. Here's the truth. And here's one of the biggest things I called in the book. Stress is self-created. When you start to understand that we manufacture stress, you start to get in control of your life. Will Smith talked about it when he went skydiving. When he went skydiving, the night before, his buddies were talking about, yo, wouldn't that be cool if we all went skydiving? And he's like, yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and do it. And he didn't want to look like, a sissy. So he's like, yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm ready tomorrow. So they scheduled it that night and they texted me and said, all right, we booked it. We're going skydiving. And he talked about the whole night. He couldn't even sleep because his stomach hurt. He was upset. He was anxious. He was worried all the way up. He couldn't even eat breakfast the next morning. Gets all the way up to the top of the plane. Feels like he's going to throw up. And then when he pushed him out the plane and he actually jumps, you know what he talks about? He talks about on the way down, this was actually one of the most blissful times in his life. And he realized when he actually touched the ground, why was I so stressed out? Why couldn't I sleep the night before? Why couldn't I eat breakfast in the morning? I was so stressed out, and up until the point of maximum fear, I actually experienced the most bliss. So how many of you are so stressed out about maybe doing an activity that you've been waiting to, that you're scared to do, but you don't realize this could be the most blissful moment when you actually go ahead and do it, when you see what happens with your cause and your effect. So this was big. This was honestly something that really had me thinking this morning. And last but not least is going to be to optimize your health, right? If you want to function at an optimal level for any of us, we need to be putting in diesel fuel. We need to be functioning at a high level, but we need to be fueling at a high level as well. So it starts with, boom, alkaline. First thing in the morning should be alkaline liquid. If you can't do it for now, that's fine. Go ahead and get Zephyrhills. But I strongly suggest start drinking alkaline in the morning and fruit, right? Blueberries is one of the best things that any of us can eat. And now getting into the day, exercise, okay? I believe exercise is going to be one of the biggest keys to your or anybody else's transformation when it comes to, forget about business, we're talking about life here. You're going to win in life well before you win in business. This is just the truth. When you develop habits, rituals, routine, everything else is going to follow. because the universe pays for what you're disciplined to put in the work ethic into. Okay. So this is big. Optimizing health. Where to start? Here's the truth. There is no starting or stopping, only doing. Time never stopped for any of us, right? Do you ever see the clock ever stop ticking? It keeps going. So there is no starting, no stopping, only doing. So making a decision today is where it begins. But when you first start, there's always excuses that some people say. A couple excuses. I don't have time. Next excuse. I'll focus on my health and happiness again in 90 days. I'm just too busy right now. Some people say, well, I'm built pretty solid. I don't need to go ahead and do anything. When you start to limit yourself on these beliefs, this is when you're going to limit your life. Okay. Health is going to be by far one of the most important things that any of us ever pay attention to, because you're going to see you can't spend the money. You can't have any wealth if you don't have any health. That's why they say health as well. So be intentional with what you're eating today. Be intentional this next 6 months with the time that you're spending exercising. I'm going to give you guys an acronym. Ready? SAVERS for your morning routine. S is silence. A is affirmations. V is visualization. E is exercise. R is read. S is scribing. All of these different things is what a lot of us have been able to use over the past couple of years. And we didn't just make this up. We got this from literally high performance habits. Success leaves clues if you're willing to pay attention and implement it. So family, this is my training for you guys today on how you can go ahead and implement all these different ways to go ahead and start regenerating energy, bringing more joy into your life, optimizing your health, and getting the most out of what you bring to every day. So I love you, family. That is my training for you guys today. If you got any value, go ahead and drop some sevens down below. Smash that like button if July is going to be a month that you're ready to go ahead and take action and go after the life that you want. So I love you guys. It is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. If nobody told you today, you are powerful, you are a leader, and I couldn't be more excited to see what is ahead in your future. So I love you. Go ahead and get it done today. Remember, you can be, do, or have anything that you can hold in your mind, you can hold in your hand. I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Rise and Shine with Define. Let's grow.